Why does everyone hate Frido so much?
That's what, like, the products that they have, I feel they're pretty normal.
You made a chappal with cock. Congrats.
Glad I didn't waste my 15-20 minutes and give him a podcast.
But I don't think the Indian audience is ready for that right now.
Petition to rename it as Frodo soon. Welcome to this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. I spoke like Pawan, yeah?
I'm in office, so I'm not wearing my shades today. I hope that's okay.
We'll bear it.
Perfect. Let's start off with the usual, the funny shit from this week. OLX deal so good you can't refuse. F-35B fighter jet 4 million USD. Posted by Donald Trumpen.
Legit. There is absolutely no scam here.
Location what? Kerala Airport.
Of course. It has to be.
Okay, let's move on. Billionaire doesn't have the best credit score. I did a credit check on Zero the Capital check out the flow, and my score is 747. So I'm not good enough for cred. Tagging Kunal Shah. I'll call you and help you fix it. Glad you're caring about scores and increasing awareness. More people need to do this.
Not everyone gets it. That's
Special
what cred,
call.
right?
Yeah, special call for him. What's wrong with other cred users? Cool. Let's move on to Apple Boys of Indiranagar. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one. I have a theory. There's a high chance Kunal Shah and Harish think of themselves as Steve Jobs and Johnny. Just
I
saying.
saw this. Just too funny.
I
Of
feel both of
course.
them have
Since
been-
Pawan has made the document, you can see just starting with all things cred, huh?
Oh my
We are back.
god.
That makes a whole lot of sense now. Move on to Ubesh has arrived. The first fake name my Uber guy could think of apparently. Ubesh. Ubesh Kumar Ola.
He's done 6,000 trips, so it's legit.
Moving on to our story of the week. Why does everyone hate Frido so much? So Frido is a very popular D2C brand and they're quite active on social media platforms. I think they're trying to take a leaf out of companies like Attenberg, etc. But this is what happened. One marketing chap from Frido, he posted that their new slippers is going to be a game changer for those who still wear the old typical sandals from legacy brands. But does this remind you of any other company, Sakshar?
Could I show you? But it's like an exact
uh,
freaking replica. I don't know what
Apart
you're
from
trying
that
to sell.
branding, I think so I've seen the entire slipper somewhere.
And you know what? And you know what? Instead of buying this, if somebody has to really copy Birkenstock, Westside does it for 400 rupees. I'd buy that over than spending on this.
But quality, bro, better, bro. Social media marketing, bro.
But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the product? Have you bought any product from Frido by the way?
No.
I'd bought my neck pillow from Frido. Honestly, my experience has been okay so far. I think off late, their entry into some of this space is when they've started getting, a bit of flack. I do think they were doing very well with all these lumbar support pillows, your car neck pillows, and when they were in that range of, I think, product, it was doing well. But yeah, apart from that, my experience has been okay so far.
Look at this. I love how the word game changer means nothing anymore.
That's what, like, the products that they have, I feel they're pretty normal, but they market them really well and massive respect for it. I think so. It went so wrong this time because people, I feel, are tired of seeing their employees, their founder, their team bombarding tweets on Twitter and going like all marketing is good marketing. And at one point, it had to blast out. And I feel this was the moment that just someone caught them and like blasted them off, and it went viral from there.
Yeah. So look at this, dude. Look, so I've actually bought the barefoot shoes from Frido and I absolutely love it, right? I always wear that to the gym. But yeah, man, like you said, like I think there is a fine line that you have to draw. Like look at that Arindam from Attenberg, right? He does it so well. Not all of his posts are about his company or about his product, but it's basically a mixture of his personal anecdotes. He gives back to his followers more than anything. I think that's why people basically look up to an Atomberg or look up to an Arindam rather than the folks from Fredo. Also, when somebody's calling them out or when somebody's making, let's say, a very mediocre joke, they're not taking it in the chin. Look at this guy's response. Also, love how you can't expect someone to know basic comprehension anymore. Sakshan, you want to read this?
Sure. Tell us a story, young one. Tell us what your bar on Game Changer is. You can snipe on people here all day, or you could tell a story. You made a chappal with cock. Congrats. Now tell us why it matters. When you make unsupported assertion and people call you out, support your assertion. Don't attack people.
Sheesh, this is too long.
Um,
Just go back. It said that, dude, the founder is saying that this chappal is made for a certain specific demographic in all caps. Like that certain specific demographic is the one wearing Birkenstocks, bro.
I
Wow, look
mean,
at this. Dude, I don't even see this bit. See, you tried telling a story and it's a good one. I iterate it on a bit and it will get better. Just drop the ad domain and you are doing a brilliant job. Question me. This is questioning. Go see the comments under the post for real questions. This is being ignorant or selectively cherry picking on something. It's like saying Canada is the largest country in the world after Russia. But you selectively read Canada as the largest country and pick on me for it, not gold.
is it even necessary? Like, you can say, sure, bro, and move on, and you'll have a better life rather than like just getting more and more involved in it. And then comes
Frustrating,
our Ravi
man.
uncle.
Handa
Of
ka
course.
fanda. Ganesh shared a polite DM from Abhijit. Oh, this is something that the founder did, right? So basically, this guy Abhijit, he had basically pinged the founder of Frido by saying that, hey, I wanna, host you on a podcast, etc. This guy didn't respond, and then Abhijit, after a couple of days, a couple of weeks later, he also told that Frido is a mediocre brand, and this guy actually posted like the message that Abhijit sent him by saying that. Glad I didn't waste my 15-20 minutes and give him a podcast.
This is the thing, right? If people are coming to or stooping to so low levels that they need to use someone else's screenshot where they're requesting a favor or asking for something which might be beneficial for both of them, just as a wall of defense, to stand by and say that my brand is what's
Yeah.
more important than customer love or me being humble. That's where the fine line that you're talking about is also.
I
Yeah.
think this is where I
So,
think, companies, people decide which companies to love and which don't. For example, if you look at, let's say, I don't know if it's the right example. If you look at, there is so much flack that Zomato or Swiggy also receive sometimes, right? Because some order is delayed, some food is cold, this, that. But the founders show up well. They apologize. They said we will do what it takes to correct some of these things, and no, not go out and say, "Oh, we didn't deliver this order in time, but I also delivered 1 million orders today on time." It's not about that, right? It's about each customer satisfaction, which brings us back to this tweet, which is why while for the world customer is king, but here it is
what's
illiterate, jobless, whatever.
whatever. Sure, but I also feel bad for them, dude. Like, I understand that brands and people represent these brands have to be a lot more kinder to people commenting to them online. But look, at some point, you have to notice that there are some people who are not your customers who've never bought your product. And if these people are still going to make noise about your brand, about your products, then why even take that shit, right? Like, have you guys seen the social media page of companies like Ryanair and Duolingo? They are savage as fuck. And I think Fredo is just trying to do that. What do you think, Pavan?
But I don't think the Indian audience is ready for that right now. You need to know your audience as well, right? And
100%.
that's where there is a difference.
This is too funny. No, but yeah, I think to this point, right? Like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I lost my train of thought, but sorry.
Good point. I'm sure it was a good point, though. Oh, God. People are just so abusive, man, online.
Yeah, okay, I remember it now. Sorry. But I also feel, see, while we can talk about Ryanair, Duolingo, and some of these companies, right? Today, Frido is also not at that scale. What I mean by that is today, even a 2 to 3% logistics failure for a Frido could very well mean 300 to 400 orders per day. And for somebody like them, I don't think that's a loss that they will be able to also take today, right? They are still a growing company. So, and in the stage that they are in, and as they want to become bigger, obviously, this is the time when you show extra care to customers and more empathy, more sympathy, rather than going on a cliff and try to be savage. I don't know if it's the right time. And again, like Pawan said, I don't think Indian audience is ready for that.
Yeah, no, I agree to that, Lou. Like, I think any mildly passive aggressive comment by a brand, Indian audience just jumps on it and saying, "This is how you talk to your customers." Because Indian audience think that no, customers are not just king, customers emperor. So they can go to a shop if they get any bad service from either the waiter or the shopkeeper. You know how Indian audience basically reacts, right? So I think there is a fine line. I respect companies that actually push back and give it back to customers who are not serious about them. But that being said, dude, like Saksham, to your point, if this outlandish kind of stance on social media is costing them orders, costing them revenue, guess who will know about it? It's Frido and Ganesh, the founder themselves, right? So I'm sure they are very cognizant of this fact, and they will not do anything that impacts their overall brand, their revenue, and everything else that comes with it, right?
See, and these things can be corrected. I remember one of the companies in our industry, Fold Money, got into something like this a few months ago, right? Wherein somebody, and sure, right, it's still people behind writing who write these tweets, and sometimes you do get carried away, you do get emotional. And Fold had a whole episode and wherein they did talk back to a few customers, etc. But then they also came back and acknowledged saying it was slightly maybe a little bit uh, not ethical or slightly more just in the aggression and in the moment, and things are okay. We all love Fold Money, right? So
Yeah.
So what's your take right here? Like, what do you guys think? Is it good in good faith? People will forget. Let's move on, or do you think like the brands who are learning from this need to take more cognizance?
I don't have a right answer. I think you should just stay true to who you are. But that being said, seeing the amount of negative comments is just overwhelming, right? Look at this. Frido is the most overrated, good for nothing, shitty brand I've come across. People paying extra for cheap knockoffs in jargons like comfort. Stop buying this Chinese shit.
and I do agree with this point of view to some extent, right? Essentially, for companies like Frido who are entering a space wherein there are both so many cheaper alternatives available and so many more premium brands available, right? And you're trying to find that sweet spot. Then it is all of this audience who is on Twitter, who is on Reddit, etc., who are going to buy stuff like this, right? So it's you have to really tread carefully and make sure that this, you know, you cannot put your reputation at stake just because you want to give back to a customer. Because, again, a simple tweet could lead to so much flack online, and it's hard to recover from some of these things. And I'm sure their sales and other things would also have been impacted, but of course, like we don't have data, so can't really say it for sure.
Look, this is the other side of the coin, no? The struggles Ganesh has endured to build a brand and company. Anybody else would have gone in depression. He's one of the most gentle and selfless person in the ecosystem. So uncool to talk crap about him. This is very fair, right? We all know the difficulty of building and scaling a company, especially D2C where the market is brutal. So somebody
And
who
manufacturing.
yeah, exactly. So we know how hard this is. So it's quite easy for people like us or people on Twitter to just comment saying that we don't like your marketing, we don't like this, etc. But he's doing the harder thing, and I'm sure they're going to come out of this stronger. Petition to rename it as Frodo soon.
Look, like my take is very different from the direction of what we are discussing here. This entire build in public as well as founder using social media to shitpost and market the brand, right? This is something that's happening new in the industry. Maybe it has happened in West like from a few years, but for like Indian customers happening new in the industry. Have you ever seen a legacy brand? Maybe in D2C also, you can see there is brand like VIP, or there might be legacy brands which manufacture bags, and in the similar like a Whirlpool who are into electronics, so on and so forth. Do you ever see any of those founders or CEOs going ahead and shit posting and talking their brand like really high? Especially when the company goes large enough, if they go to brands like the ones which are listed in India, right? Even the CEOs and the chief CXOs there have restrictions on what they can tell about the brand online. These things are done by organizations or the board so that these kind of situations can be avoided. A founder's opinion can't always be a company's opinion. That's that's my take. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be a good learning lessons for all the founder who are trying to build in public as well as taking the route of shit posting. It works, and I feel these would be the rules that would be rewritten for someone who would be studying MBAs and would be studying shit posting as a topic somewhere down the
Yeah, I
line in
mean,
the colleges.
it's really a fine line, right? And you can see what
Yeah,
happens if you just tread on the other side a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
Yep, that's it from this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel below. See you guys next week. Bye
Like,
bye.
share, subscribe.
Bye bye.
But maybe because you're not ultra rich, no Saksham, they just wanted you to drop off from their app, so they just gave you a horrible
I
flow.
guess, bro. Yeah, this flow didn't fly for me, so
What was that sound? Was someone pissing?
it's like a pressure cooker in the kitchen, no?
It was.